If you want to sit at the table, pull up a chair. Welcome to Let's Bring It to the Table, um, where we talk about how to enhance our lives by addressing issues that specifically impact our life. My name is Sonia. I'm your host. We have today on the panel Emily, Alois, Pat, Michelle, and Timothy. So, y'all, we're going to talk about the laws. We were discussing this last week, where we were talking about the 48 laws of power. So we were trying to get a lot in such a short time. So we're going to go ahead and dive into law number 5, in which states so much depends on reputation guarded with your life. Reputation is the cornerstone of the power. Through reputation alone, you can intimidate or win. Once it slips, however, you are vulnerable and will be attacked on all sides. Make your reputation, um, protect your reputation. Always be alert to potential attacks that might happen. Meanwhile, learn to destroy your enemies by open holes in their own reputation, and stand aside and let public opinion hang them. So, what do y'all have to say about that?
Wow, that was a mouthful. Um,
I know.
and we see that today a lot. I know with Beyonce, you will see her wear a T-shirt, or she'll have a post on her social media. She don't directly go for her foes, her adversaries direct. She'll have something kind of clever as far as a lyric in a song. And by doing that, it definitely creates content. It allows for people to be in tune to you, and wonder like, who's she talking about? Is he beefing with such and such? It does create content, but you will never see her directly out in the streets like fighting and things of that nature. So her reputation, she's been building it for like well over 20 years. She will not torment it, but she will go after her foes very discreetly.
Right. And I don't see a problem with that. That's just how she do things.
Yeah,
And it's a way to conduct yourself in public, because it is your reputation.
it is. And another thing, if people do come for her, she have the fan base that the beehives that honey, you don't want none.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So you have those artists that will do that. They will come from you. Their fans will come for you. Um, and like the wording said in the Law 5 that you know to win or to intimidate. You want to stand strong as a brand. You want to stand strong as a company. Um, and that's why companies say, well, here, this is our vision of our company. This is our core value of our company. And if somebody, an employee, is a part of the company and they're doing things complete opposite that can tarnish that, then obviously they're gonna get fired.
Correct.
They will no longer be with the company.
Hmm.
So having a strong brand, a strong company, that's gonna last, you're gonna have to be strong. You're gonna have to come at your enemies discretion, just so they're getting your point that you're here for the long run, but at the same time you're keeping your name clean.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It also says that when you, with your reputation, it's a dangerous game when you have to protect it. Just like you were saying, like with Beyonce, you have people in social media and everything, and even in business. Because Timothy, in a sense, to me, I think you went through that with your business when you got all these other people around you that's probing and looking and trying to stop you and block you. How did you handle protecting your brand and your reputation as you grow as a business owner?
That's a really honestly at that point in junction spiritually, but also a lot of as well as in just taking all day the right steps. You know, I went into this business. I didn't have a mentor. mentor, didn't have anyone back. Injunctions like that, you just have to be spiritual, but also lean on the people who are close to you, which going through the experience as well. You can see it on Google it, but you honestly have to go in on what you feel as though it's the right decision. Honestly, I experiences that I went through because of the guy that I am now, and what type of vision I want my company to have, how I want them to uphold themselves. So I guess I have to say you got to enjoy the process. Never take losses. They're only learning that.
Yeah, I agree. With your losses, you have to take those as learning curves. The only time you lose is when you quit.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take those lessons, like I was listening to Cheryl, she's a comedian, and she was on The View, and she was there. There was gonna have a second Queens of Comedy tour ordeal, and so she was on the Zoom call a little early, and she some kind of way she got in, and she heard the other comedians. They were having a conversation, a sidebar conversation pertaining to her, and they were just saying all kind of crazy stuff. Like they don't know why she got to be a part of it and all this stuff. And they were talking about critiquing her and talking things about how she wasn't this and then the other. And she said, her phone was mute, but she wanted to say, "Hey, da 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 da." But she said something held her to say, held her for her to understand what they were saying. She said she began to take notes because they were talking down her reputation. But she took the notes and she got off the Zoom call and she contacted the people, the whoever was going to be over managing the group or whatever. And she said, this is not a fit for me. This is not a good fit for me. But I thank you for the opportunity. She didn't go on to retaliate against them, but she took the task of them talking about her to heart, to where she began to work on those things to bring her brand up. And then next thing you know, out of the 4 women, she ended up playing in movies, and all of them being in an award ceremony with one of them, and was in a movie with 2 others. And then she got on to be a host of The View on a national platform and mainstream. So she said, I took what they said not to heart to be bitter, but to elevate and better me. And she said, and now they know just now, I mean, this happened years ago. They know now that I heard them, but I heard them to a point that it elevated me. And she said, I'm where I'm at now. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it takes.
Don't get bitter. Don't get intimidated. Hey, use that thing to elevate. Push through.
Yeah.
Bring it down.
Honor. That's what she did. She showed her honor and told all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
good.
Time.
Keep going. Y'all doing a great job. Some people think that, with your reputation, long goes the days. Y'all, I don't know. Some of y'all real young. Y'all might not know nothing about this. But I know those who are in my age group and maybe older, there was this thing, your reputation, where your name followed you, where you could walk into the bank based off who your family was and get a loan, get you a house built, because of the reputation of y'all was the good people, people, that's what reputation used to stand on. And with all these different things that's going on now, I don't think people have a solid reputation, especially like in the streets. You know, those street cats. You know, if you know anything about street cats and stuff, that you know you didn't mess with Pookie and them because Pookie and
Yes.
them took care of the neighborhood. You know,
Yes.
you don't. If you went and you snitched, you had to talk to Pookie and Ray Ray. So you
Yes.
didn't do those kind of things because they made sure that that block was good. You know,
Yes.
their reputation succeeded them, but they were good guys. But
Yes.
in those streets, you know, when other people had to deal with them, you know, they know you can't come on
Yes.
this block. And you know,
Yes.
even whether it's good or bad, you know, it was good for the neighborhood, but it was
Yes.
bad for people outside of the neighborhood.
Yes. Yes. My father-in-law, he Lord rest his soul, he's gone on to be with the Lord now. But he was a very well respected man in our town. You did not cross him. It was like people had a reverential fear of him because his name was his honor, and he was well off. He took care of his family, and people would come and borrow money from him. He was the bank. Yeah. People used to come and borrow money from him, and he would charge them interest. And don't be late because that's gonna be double pay. And if you didn't pay, well, he had bounty hunters.
Bounty hunters?
Yes, they'll be at your house.
Yeah.
If you late, and people knew that, and so he set a presence that I am willing to help you. I am willing to, meet you where you at, but you are going to respect the agreement. And you're gonna pay my money back, and he didn't play. And his name spoke so much value. And when people, even today, when people see my husband and their family, highly respected. Highly respected. And even my late mother-in-law, she was a very generous giver, a very loving nature. But when you like them old folks said, when you told your last pair, it was over.
Yeah. It would be.
Your well will run dry, but she will give you the benefit of the doubt. And so your reputation has to be to the point where you are in great standing, but you are not to be played with.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's exactly
not a target practice for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when they used to go for Blue Ivy. A lot of companies and they stuff got shut down. People got fired. You didn't hear them out in the street on social media going crazy on the media, but you did hear about the people getting fired. Yeah. People know that in the industry that they're not to be played with.
Your reputation now is not like that. And people were older back in the days. They know what was going on. They were neighbors. They were real close to each other back then. Those times, but now it's like kind of different. Like things are changing. I mean, it totally did a 365.
Yes.
So now you really have to protect your reputation. Stuff that's going on, especially the media, the social media, and the Facebook and all of that. You have to guard yourself.
Yeah, have to have healthy boundaries. You can't allow you, just like in your house, you wouldn't leave your doors open at night. You know, if you own a business, you wouldn't leave your doors unlocked. People just come in and take the products. So that's how you have to guard your reputation. You got to have healthy boundaries. Let people know right off the bat, this is acceptable, this is not acceptable. Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree.
That speaks volumes, you know, because when you take the high road in anything and you never appear desperate in your defense, because, you know, when you go to like TikTok or some of these others where it's people going at each other because of a comment somebody made that didn't like it, and they're trying to shut down your opinion. You know, it's funny to me that in this day and time that the First Amendment has no bearing on people. They don't believe that I have a right to say what I say. If you don't like it, keep it moving. You know, they want to come and attack you. And so then this is when I say use it to your advantage. You know,
Yes.
if you got that hater, you know, use it to your advantage, because all they're
Yes.
gonna do is keep posting it and sending it to other people, which is gonna bring your numbers up. And
Yes.
people gonna be, they be like, wait, why was she clowning? Why was she,
Hmm.
you know, why was she saying these things?
Yes.
Because they don't understand. You know, a lot of women don't get that. Like on TikTok, this famous thing they got that all these young men do, and they tell me, I don't like black women. You know, I want me a white girl, and this, that, and the
Mm.
third. And they down,
Okay.
and all the black women gravitate. I mean, they be going viral. They gravitate to that, and they don't even understand. You making money for that young man.
Yes.
You gravitating to something that means
Mhm.
nothing,
Nothing.
and he only
It's
doing
just the
it
content.
just for the clout.
Yes. It's just
Even
the
though his
content.
even though his reputation might seem like it's tarnished, it's
Yeah.
really not, because this is not his reality.
Mm-mm.
You know, some people take this social media thing and this is all they have, and this is their life. You know,
Wow.
and this is what they thrive on. They don't have gotta take the baby to the doctor, or go take them
Yeah.
to tennis lessons, or go to church and doing everything else, go meet up with the girls for cocktail. They don't have that
Yeah.
kind of life. Their life is right there on that
Wow.
tablet.
Yeah. And that's very dangerous, because simply for the fact a lot of people have gone off and just went out and just went to somebody that they knew who may have said something that offended them, and just started just an all right brawl with them.
I can
Or
hear them now because you on mute. They on mute me.
You're
because
not on mute. We can hear you. You're not on mute.
They muted you too?
When I'm muted because y'all, you on my
I am so
mic.
sorry. I don't think she
Okay,
know that
I'll
we
just
can
go
hear
Oh,
her,
wow.
and I don't have her on mute. So she's saying she's on mute and she don't even know. So y'all beg her pardon. I'm sorry.
okay,
But anyway,
yeah,
of course, like Michelle, you had something you want to say?
Oh, well, I think everybody brought up a lot of great points. I don't know if you can hear me because I couldn't hear
I can
Timothy
hear
at
you.
all. Okay. I couldn't hear him at all in his response to what you were saying, but I love the way that you opened it up, speaking about Beyonce and how she handles herself and her reputation precedes her, right? No matter what she's going through, you'll never be able to truly pinpoint who did it, when, why, and how, right? But she's going to send those subliminal messages through her songs, right?
yeah,
So you're saying it, you're like, oh, well, wait a minute, this must be Jay-Z, or this must be Becky with the good hair, must be this. So I love that about her, because when people go low, she goes high. She truly embraced that Michelle Obama's metaphor, if you will, right?
yes.
Everything that you said is spot on. I think Timothy had brought an article to me about Kanye West, a video that he did. And one thing he said is that my money is not good no matter where I go. Like, I never have to walk with money. Why is that? Because of his reputation. Because of who he is.
Yes.
Right. So that when I think about your reputation, that's the type of stuff I think about, right? A
Yes.
lot of times you don't have to engage, because let's be clear, a lot of things that you're speaking about, especially what you were just tapping on, Sonia, is that a lot of people are responding through their emotions, right? And social media gives you that platform to do it in that moment. So all those women that are going crazy over this man saying that he prefers white women, that's his preference. And we're so upset because what? What is the real pain that we're exuding in that moment that he tapped into that caused everybody to go crazy and felt the need to respond or have something to say about that? You could just clearly listen to what he has to say and keep it moving.
It's
So
their
like you
verbal
said,
acceptance not being accepted. It's that acceptance and the insecurities that you have of not being chosen.
Yeah,
there you
it's
go.
rejection. They
There
feel
you go.
rejected that he choosing another race, versus saying, well, whether or not he chose or not chose another race, maybe he wasn't the one for you anyway.
Thank
How
you.
about
You
that?
might be them. But you probably experienced that somewhere along the line, saw it somewhere. And like you said, it's that pain that he caused to just thrush to the surface when he
Yes,
might have said what he said.
yes,
And that's what it created in that moment. Because let's be clear, there's a lot of Caucasian or other ethnic men that date Black women. So why are
yes,
we not speaking about that, right? So it goes both ways.
It
yes,
So I love what you're talking about with the reputation, because it's huge. It falls in
does.
not just by personal but your businesses, like you said, because that's why they have the little tab on Google, Yelp, and all those other things. Leave a review. What is that about? That's creating a reputation for that place.
That's
Yes.
right.
And I know a lot of friends that I'm like, oh, let's go. I heard about this spot or whatever. The first thing I say, well, hold up, pull up Google. What they saying about them?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not even giving our own opinions anymore. We're not even creating that anymore. We're basically going off of what people are saying.
Yes.
So social media has really taken over in an insurmountable way. And I don't even think people realize how much it dictates what they do, how they feel,
Yeah.
just their life in general.
Yeah.
It literally has shaped and molded what people do, when they do it, and how they do it.
Yes.
So there's, if anything, we should be talking about the reputation of social media because that's really what's running everything right now.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much power in somebody's opinion. Because a lot of people are not willing to take the time to get to know, to invest the time and to get to know you, your brand. They're like, well, you know, that's too much. And it's not. But it's easier, it's more convenient to go and look and see, do they have 5 stars? Oh, why they don't have 5 stars? Because I can be honest with you, I have had opportunities where there has been instances rather where I have looked for a product, and if somebody else was like, oh, I got it, it didn't look like the product that was being advertised. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I have gotten completely turned off, and I didn't buy the product because I've had that happen to me already. So I guess that was a trigger. I have gotten a lot of products, especially like wigs and things. They look like a lace front, real like your own scalp, and then you get it and you can't even see no scalp, and it's plastic. You're like, now cut dog it, this doggone don't look like the picture. You done tricked me. And I have to send it back because, and then your reputation is tarnished for me because I trusted you. You sent me a product that was nothing like the product.
Exactly.
You lied to me.
So I don't know if you guys remember back in the day when companies were now starting to flourish, like your not Walmart, there was another one, I forgot the name of it. The name is escaping me. Kmart and those different stores and things like that. And they started the trend of things of saying the customer is always right. No matter what was going on, the customer is always right. But they didn't have the type of platform to leverage that, to really push it where it needed to go. And I think that that's what social media has done. So like you said, it took one review for either you to leave or for someone else to leave and you to read that made you feel like, I'm not going to do business with this organization. And it falls into that category of the customer always being right. So that's what's going on a lot of today, because I do a lot of different things, right? My hands is in a lot of different things from a passive income perspective. And the one thing that I find that I do more of is trying to appease people. Because I don't want you to be upset about anything. So if something's wrong, and it could just be, life happen, things happen, you're doing something might happen.
Right.
Human error, whatever the case might be. I think we've removed the human error and we give no room for mistakes. And when that happens, then your reputation that quickly down the drain.
Yes. Yeah.
That quickly.
I agree. Yeah. I agree, because when I was going through the process of getting my book Grace published, I thought all the time, God, do you really want me to write this? Is this really something I need to put for the world to see? This is here forever. Because you think about the long haul, and and I just listened and obeyed, and it worked out. People love it. And I did not want to go through with having a paperback book, because after a while those bend. I didn't want something attached to my name that can bend and can be damaged in a matter of just water going over it or sun damage or what have you. People like to read outside. So I really thought about putting out a product that will be not only beautiful but lasting and was a great read. I wanted it to look beautiful outside and inside. And when you take the perspective of your customers or your clients, giving them a product that's going to be lasting, then that same word of mouth that says this ain't a good product will go out and say this is a great product.
Mm-hmm.
And with that in mind, because your energy is going to go to where you want it to go. So if you put your energy as an entrepreneur, as a brander, as a company, I want this to be a brand that's outlasting me, generational wealth. You might think real clearly, is this something that I will buy? Is this something that I want my customers and my clients to be able to go out and say, this is a great product, do business with them? Because word of mouth is everything.
It is. It is.
Everything.
And that leads into the next law, because I know we can stay forever on law 5, but we're going to go into law 6, which is court attention at all costs. Everything is judged by its appearance, which is unseen counts for nothing. Never let yourself get lost in the crowd, then or buried in oblivion. Stand out. Be conspicuous at all costs. Make yourself a magnet of attention by appearing larger, more colorful, more mysterious than the bland and the timid masses.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Appearance is everything. You will not see certain people, celebrities, you will not see them out on whether they're going to get coffee from Starbucks, or if they're going to go to Whole Foods to get their groceries, or they're out at the nightclub. You will not see them without their lace front laid, them edges laid. You will not see them without a very nice outfit that's from a designer, whether it be Gucci or whatever. Honey, they're not coming out without the red bottoms or the Fendi or Louis Vuitton. They're just not gonna allow themselves to look crazy in these streets. They're gonna look fabulous because why? They are their brand. And you should absolutely understand that your brand is not just your product, it's you.
That's true.
What
but
you're
why
saying,
is it that Black women don't do that? You can go to the airport, or you go into Walmart, or you go in different places, and you got pajamas and hair bonnets on. Why are you going out looking like that?
No such thing as, oh, I'm having a lazy day. No, you have that in your home. But once you step out on that outside of that door and you are a public figure, honey, you are wide open target. They're gonna say, oh, well, such and such looked very sexy, Megan Good. She looked very sexy in this couture where it was like a new color. It showed her physique. You got Beyonce with the Renaissance, with this metallic bathing suit thing going on. A lot of people not really liking that, but honey, they're showing up their physique because certain celebrities will showcase what their gyra. And their gyra is sexy, so they putting that out on display. Versus a rapper might be at a club where they're playing a lot of rap music and they're turning it up with the party. Just make sure you are in your lane, your gyra, and you're taking care of yourself. Because people don't want to buy products from people who, if you homeless, why would I want to buy your product?
And I'm happy that you said that, because there are a lot of people that self-identify through their genre. So you have people that are caught up in being very holistic, right? There's a calmness about them that, they're not looking for the Gucci Coutures and things like that. Right. It's more, Mother Nature, earth based. Yes. And they have their people that they attract. You have, like you said, your Beyonce doing the Renaissance, the rappers doing their different things, like their polos, so on and so forth, their Gucci's and so on. I think it's more about being presentable, right? Because not every day you're going to be in the mood to dress up like that, right? But understand every time you step out, when people see you, they're seeing the essence of you. So everything that you're bringing to the table, exactly. So that you are always on show. That's like for me, you're always on an interview because you never know who you're going to run into. especially when you leave your house, right?
Yes.
You just never know who you're going to run into. And you always want to, my mom always said that, like, make sure your house is always clean when you leave. And that's because growing up, you know, in South America, they weren't taking you to the hospital, they were taking you back home. So if you
Okay.
fell down on the street, you were going back to your house. You weren't going to a hospital. So you wanted to make sure that A, you had on clean undergarments, and B, your house was clean, right?
Yes.
And that's something that stayed with me forever. Like, you will never get up out of your bed and not turn around and make it up before you start your day, things like
Yes.
that. So I think putting certain things into practice and understanding the importance behind it. Because for me, if I'm not feeling good, I'm not looking good. And it's a downward spiral effect, right?
Yes.
If the
Yes.
house ain't clean, I'm not clean. Everything is a whole disarray. So
Yes.
for it, there's a process to it. So I understand that. And Sonia, I never got it as well. I thought it was just a new trend when you saw people at the airport where the bedroom slip was on and the whole pajama set. Like, I'm like, oh, is this new?
Oh,
Because it's
like
just
they go into restaurants like that. I was livid. I went to some kind of meeting with this young lady, and I was in Jonesboro, and this girl, and this was during the regular of the day, the lunch day, and we was at the Golden Corral of all places because her mom wanted to eat there, and because her mom was visiting from Jamaica, and so she wanted to go to this Golden Corral, but everybody was talking about the food, so I went with them to have my meeting with her, and 5 women and a dude got out that car, and everybody had on a different color bun, and I was just sitting there looking. It's
Horrified.
2:00. Why? 2:00. Why?
Yes. Let's have some class about ourselves. Let's just represent ourselves well. My daughter, she had on this graphic tee, and she had on like these pajama like shorts. And being the mama that I am, I said, "Where you going?" I said, "Honey, you're not finna go out there like that. No, ma'am." I said, "You need to dress like the young woman, successful young woman that you want to be. Those shorts, no, ma'am. The t-shirt, okay, I understand. You know, you're kind of into that whole whatever. It's okay, I understand that. But those shorts was a no-no for me because you're going to school for to get your degree in business. You don't know, you might be running into future clients.
Yeah.
You do not want that on display." So she said, "Okay, Mom." She put on a nice skirt, and she was like, "Yeah, okay." Because not only is your word is your bond, but your appearance. You know, what are you are selling when you go out. And that's to say also, if you are there too sexy and you're not selling sexy, well, if you're not selling sexy, don't go out sexy. And that's the difference between being sexy and trashy. You know, trashy is your everything out, and you know, you just look like your next stop is the corner. You have to be very mindful. If you want to be a classy lady, then put that in the wardrobe. If your company is selling trust, then make sure your products are trustworthy. That what you're selling is what we're getting. And do an inventory check. Make sure that don't nothing go out the door that you wouldn't want to come in your mailbox. I don't want anything coming to my door that doesn't look like the product that I saw on the screen, because I will send it back and I will not do business with you again. And your reputation will be tarnished. Yeah.
That's understandable. That's very understandable. You know, because your image is everything. And, you know, speaking about the image, you know, the style of dress, the personality, y'all hit all those points about the appearance of how you're supposed to be. Because you'll never know. You know, you might meet your next boss in there and they saw you looking your worst and you're not sick and you was kikiing it up and everything. And they be like, "Oh, no, she's not going to represent us outside of or inside our business in a great manner." You know, you don't have to open your mouth to say anything for someone to look at you and say, "Oh, no, she's not the flavor of the year," or whatever. And they do it every day in modeling. You know, if you're not on point in them pictures, if you're not on point when you get out there and you strut in when you auditioning, you're not going to be the flavor of the day. They're going to put you the side and might
Yes.
not ever look at you again. So
No,
you have to know how to carry yourself and how to be.
absolutely.
And a lot of people think that it's this air of arrogance. Of course it is. Because if you no, think about it. If I'm not being arrogant about me and how I want to represent me, myself, who else is gonna do it?
I mean, you can use arrogant or you can use confidence.
Same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
In a sense, it's the same thing.
Yeah. You want to be confident in who you are and what you bring into the table.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then your insecurity will come off to somebody else and they're going to be like, you know what? She was nice, but there was just something that was missing. Confidence is everything. If you're not confident in your product enough to make sure that it's the best and it stand out apart from everybody else, then how do you expect your future clients and customers to feel confident in your product when you're not?
Exactly. And people don't get that in anything that you do, whether it's in service or with products, whatever you are in the labeling of business.
Yes.
If you are not your brand first, your brand will be nothing. Your
Yes.
packaging has to be on point. Your
Absolutely.
labeling, everything that you bring to that, it has to be appealing. I can
Yes.
understand you just starting out and you might go and buy those little colorful little labels and you starting out, you testing the water. Yeah, okay. But now you trying to run with the big boys, you have to step it up.
Upgrade.
Customer service is everything.
Yes.
Marketing is everything. That brand, it speaks. If your customer service sucks, trust and believe everybody and they mom and them gonna know before you get your product brand in the light that you want it, and it's not gonna be a go. Because society craves. They craves that larger than life of people.
Yes.
Who's able to get into that mediocre and just make it just go away because all attention is on them. When you look at TikTok, you look at Instagram, for instance, and you see these people get out there and they got these products and they're using all this flash and flare. Some of them never get a sale. But then when you sitting there, you being real about what this feel like on you and how it make your arm shine and and make you feel, or the lipstick popping.
Yes.
You fly off. You gone. People buy it.
Just take for instance when that guy some years back when he had taste Patti LaBelle's sweet potato pie.
Oh Lord.
Honey,
and that was a bunch of junk.
He was like, Patti. Honey, he blew Patti LaBelle sales off the margin.
Yep. I remember that. And I know, dude, and it was funny to me that he did that because I went and because of that, I went and bought the pie and my sister even put it out there on Facebook. My sister make better pies than this. This is trash. And when I taste, I'm like, yeah, I make better pies. I do. My sweet potato pies are way better than these manufactured pies because they took her recipe and messed it up when they get it for mass disbursement. They are horrible. It's just like a big old pound of sugar and some sweet potatoes put together and nothing else. It's horrible.
But I think the point that you made that really stood out was the fact that his personality, what he said, how he said it, transcended into the money for her. I mean, she made bank off of that. And a lot of people are doing that on social media. And I just think, for me, I just think some people are gifted. Some people, that is their natural setting. And because of how things are set up now, they don't have to go through the red tape to get in front of the camera. They can immediately get there by turning their phones on and turning on their cameras. And people are gravitating to that because it's real. For some people, it's just a natural thing that you gravitate to them. They're saying what you want to hear, how they're saying it is resonating with your spirit, with everything in you. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to rock with this person. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Like marketing, it's not what it used to be because you could do it yourself. If you hire someone, it's because you want to. But the way things are set up now, there's a lot of things you could do for yourself or partner with people that you know are strong in those areas. And like I said, it's not going to cost you a whole lot of money like it once did before.
Right.
And it's that branding that are established most customers and clients, they don't want to deal with anybody who isn't already established.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh, that's an
your
important
parents
too.
will
If
be
you don't have the
everything.
experience, they're not going to deal with you either.
Yes. So your appearance can be off the wall amazing, but most clients and customers want somebody who is seasoned in that genre, seasoned in that lane. And you know, and then those, again, like we talked about earlier, those reviews. How many reviews do you have, and what are they saying? You know, if one or two person is saying one thing, but anytime after about at least 5, they're like, okay, well, we may got something here. But if you got those reviews, that's like some products on Amazon, they have like hundreds and thousands. Oh, honey, they're making the money. They're Amazon's choice.
Yeah, they do.
So if you want to establish that, you definitely have to make sure that you're strong in your lane and that your appearance is off the chain.
Yeah. And sometimes people don't understand, also with that, you have to sometimes give just a little bit of air of mystery. When you give the air of mystery, it's that it doesn't allow you to feel trapped or cornered.
Okay.
Or have to go on the defense on certain situations. When I tell y'all, TikTok is so funny to me sometimes. I've seen 20,000 people watching a guy just sitting there being quiet as if he has nothing else better to do. He's just sitting there doing this, not saying a word, and people's talking about, when are you going to talk? Are you going to talk? And I'm like, well, how long are you going to sit there and realize that it's a gimmick? It's a gimmick. Y'all are literally getting on here just to watch him not say nothing, and he's just sitting there.
Wow.
And this is what, and I mean, that's like the air of mystery, because they want to know what he got to say. They want to know what he's doing. They really want to know.
Oh my goodness. I like those videos where it's on silent and the people are talking and you can't hear anything. I was on a party bus with my cousin for her birthday last year, and the music was very, very lit and questionable.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't really facade with my image. So I put it on silent. And I know they wonder, like, what's she listening to? What is it? None of your business. No. Mm-hmm. But I noticed that has been trending. A person be talking and they got something going on. But you're like, what are they saying? And that's mystery.
Mm-hmm.
That is mystery. Yeah. You wanna create content that says, hey, I'm relevant, that I'm interesting, and you want to keep that content going, flowing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that alone, you don't want people to ever feel like, oh well, they been there, done that. Mm-hmm. And you're constantly hearing celebrities saying, well, I reinvented myself. No, you didn't reinvent yourself. You just tapped into another part of yourself that was already there. You're just maximizing it and putting it on display.
Exactly.
Because we all have different aspects of ourselves that we may choose or choose not to have on display, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely there.
Yeah. And there's also a reversal to this. A lot of people, there are people, these ones that claim allegedly that they have a problem that's going on. For me, I'm like, never appear over greedily for the attention, because to me it's like insecurity. You drive the power away that you had, because you're looking at, you making yourself look a certain type of way. And I mean, and they be going at it. At first, people send them thousands and thousands of dollars, and okay, you got the money and stuff. So now you getting that kind of attention, which is not a good attention.
No.
And it's showing something, but you never got one out the situation. You use it at advantage to get what you wanted, or you trying to make people feel sorry for you, so they can follow you, and you get online and you explaining yourself and this, that, and the third, and it makes no sense.
And it taints your brand, it taints your credibility, and anything that was good that could have came out of this situation is gone. Because one thing you never want to do as a company, as a brand, as a person, is to feel like you're a leech.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to feel like you're this charity case. And you also don't want to intimidate people.
Mm-hmm.
You want to keep that at a fine line. Yes, I am a strong brand. Yes, I have wonderful packaging, and our services are 5-star, but don't come for us.
Exactly.
Don't come for us.
Exactly. So when you're creating things, you got to have that balance, whether it's an air of mystery, whether you fighting for your reputation, whether the attention that you're trying to seek, everything has to have that balance. You got to have the boundaries as well, because if the balance is not there, then everything falls apart,
Yes,
and then you're left holding an empty bag.
that's right. And
Mhm.
nobody want to be standing with all these gifts and talents and wonderful products that can do wonders for the world, but yet they didn't have the right balance. They didn't have the right statue. They didn't have the right team. You know, before you start a company, before you put yourself out there, do the research. Find out
Exactly.
what's the demand. You
Mhm.
know, supply and demand, and make sure that you test these things out. You don't want to have a whole bunch of lemons going out. You want to make sure that your brand is impeccable, that your products are exquisite, and that people are getting what they're ordering, and that
Right.
they can trust you. And then the word of mouth goes. And
Mhm.
you know, once people know that you are established, then you can, like Rose Ross. They don't. They're a luxury. You
Yeah.
say Rose Ross, and people already know luxury.
Mhm.
You want your brand to come off. Oh yeah, such and such got that. Da 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 da. I want that brand for myself, and they don't have no commercials.
None.
Either you come on the
None.
lot and you buy, but that's the end of the conversation.
Exactly.
Or you can go online and see what one is being sold. But honey, they're not speaking anything.
Mhm. That's exactly
They
right.
they they're moving in silence, and people love their product. People, I mean, be honest, I want one of their trucks. it's a, it's the cost of a house, but it's luxury, it's
Mhm.
class, and it's been around for a long time, and they ain't going nowhere.
There's
People
this
love them.
brand that she's I think she got kind of like TikTok famous, and I have been watching her on Instagram as well. And she has gotten to the point that she sells out all the time. You
Wow,
have to be a part of her list of buyers, and she has a list and she gives you a code, and that's your opportunity to go in and buy before she releases it to the public. And it
wow,
works, because I've tried to go in and the system had crashed, and she'd send a text, system crash, give me 15 minutes, and then she said, okay, y'all can go back in, and by the time you go back in and stuff, it's gone.
wow. That
Sometimes
now
the
that is
customers that she
established.
has, yeah. And all she do is post little, pictures of the product now. Whereas she used to post different things about the product, but now it's gone. Her yoni steam, it goes before, and I'm still trying. For the past 5 months, I've been trying to get her yoni
Woo.
steam. It's gone.
Wow.
So and she does, and her products are good. So
Yes.
some people, they got it once they get that, and the tactics that they use, they
Mm.
don't let they leverage it to where it does not. It's now, and so I feel kind of good with some of the things I was able to get to some other people, that it's exclusive. I like that
Yes, and that
exclusiveness
is
where
what
I,
you
I
want.
got it, you don't, I'm good.
Yes. Yes, you said the magic word exclusive,
Mhm.
luxury, nice, in demand. Things of that will have your items flying off the shelves. Trusted brands flies off of the shelves. Supply and demand. You have an item that can solve somebody's problem. Would it be hair growth? We were talking about the rice water
Yep.
products. Supply
Hmm.
and demand. And people
Exactly.
will testify how this is working. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Tim, did you have anything else that you want to add to this? Oh, and I think he's out.
Okay.
Well, that's fine. So, when like we was talking about, we cannot allow our reputations or our courting of attention to go into a place to where I still don't think that. I know we didn't talk about scandalous and sensational or whatever. To me, I don't think I could leverage that in a way, in a sense, to where, because I've had that done in some areas where a person was talking about me to people, and I never said a word, because if you know me as a person, and then you'll say, okay, well, I understand why she moved the way she moved, because they did something to make her move that way. But in this day and time, we don't have that. So, because a lot of people, because they lives are so messed up, that they live for the scandal, they live for the deceit, they live for your life looking miserable, because they thrive on it. They thrive on it, because that means you're doing worse than me, or you're doing just as bad as I am. And and you can't, I just, as a person and a brand, I can't let that speak for my brand. You get what I'm saying?
Because it's gonna deter you it's gonna turn you into a light that is not wholesome.
Right.
It's gonna take away from just being strong, being dependable, being of value, being of great worth. No one wants to be a part of a scandal. I don't think that when celebrities are doing these publicity stunts, that they're really thinking it's true. They're thinking, oh, I got this album about to come out. I got this movie about to come out. Or I got a perfume coming out. I got this clothing line coming out. Let me get some chatter going. But that's not the way. Because some celebrities can recover from that scandal where some have not.
Exactly. And it's been decades on them. Even us as women and our Black men, reputation is everything. You can go, like, I'm from a town, I ain't gonna say it's small because it's growing now, but if I walk through those doors of that town, the first thing that they're gonna do is start talking about yesteryears, high school days, all of this, and I'm looking at them like, what they got to do with now? You still, but that's all they have.
It's the past.
It's the past, and that's all they have, because that was their great years, and they don't. And I'm like, you got your best years before you, and you're not doing anything with it, because you still thriving for something you'll never get. You'll never get those years back. So you in the attention that you're seeking from me about the past, you're not gonna get.
No,
I don't care about me having an attitude when I was in high school because I didn't want to date you. I don't care about the fact that I ran track and I was a thick girl and I outbeat. I don't care about all of that. Bringing it up to me is not going to get you anywhere, because I'm not trying to court that type of attention from you.
And then when you think about something like that, that person that value you from your past, that to me is a little static, because what do you think about me now? Because I'm more established now. I'm more seasoned now. I'm more, my values have changed. I'm not even that person anymore.
But they want you to be that person.
And that's the thing. When you outgrow a company or a person, place, or a thing, it's not that you have changed. You have just grown. And you are on a whole nother level. Not saying that they're dirt and trash. It just means that the level that they're on, they have not come up to where you are.
So, now, Emily, let me ask you this, because you said something there, and that speaks of your reputation as a person as you grow. Yes. So why stay with a company? And we talking about your reputation. You work that company, you help build that company, you have done everything with this company that does not belong to you.
Right.
And why would you stay 15, 20 years?
Comfort.
When no, you're not comfortable, you're not happy, you're not satisfied.
Fear.
Why would you stay? And you know what? And that's the key. Because fear. Why? Fear.
A lot of people will not start their own business, start their own venues, start their own organizations, their own nonprofits, because they are afraid.
But
They
what
are
about your
terrified. They are terrified of rejection. They're
Mhm.
terrified of failure.
Mhm.
And they have all these things. They have this whole movie of how their life is going to end. And they have not taken one step to see how it could be the complete opposite.
Exactly.
Every entrepreneur is stepping out on faith. Nothing just happened. Everything started in the basement or in the garage or in the sink in the kitchen.
Mhm.
Everything started out small, but that's life. Everything is in seed form. But once it's planted in good ground and fertilized and watered, and you prophesying over that thing and seeing it manifest,
Mhm.
trusting God,
That's right.
then you're stepping over fear, saying, I can't stay here. I got somewhere to be. Destiny is calling me.
Mhm.
When destiny is calling you, you're gonna make sure that your brand is in top shape. You're not sending anybody any garbage. You're making sure your packaging is superb. You're not attaching your name to anything that says garbage, trash, insignificant. You're not gonna do that. Why? Because your name is on this. Your children, your grandchildren, your descendants, all of them is coming behind you. And
Exactly.
your name gonna speak value on them until they get married and change it. And what about
Yep.
the males that gotta keep the name?
Yep. That's true.
You have to not allow fear to keep you on a job that devalue you, that pays
Mhm.
you way less than you worth, and won't even promote you.
Exactly.
Want to use all your skill sets, all your gifting and talents, but want to pay you way less.
When
It's
there's
time to go.
thousands of companies out here that will pay you double for the trouble, and you were
But your
so
fear will
committed.
keep you. Your
Yeah.
fear will keep you in that lesser until you're ready and say, I know my worth. I know my
Exactly.
value, and I got to go. I
Exactly.
got to go.
Because they look at you, and you've shown how smart you are. You've shown
Yes,
that you was able to just educate yourself within what you had to do. You
yes,
shown them, but they looked at you and still saw you as nothing. So the reputation that they see through their eyes of
yes,
you is speaking volumes, because your pay ain't showing it.
yes.
You're not able to move up.
And
You
what
can't even move left or right. You can't
and what
even move. Yeah.
whatever you're not willing to change, you have chose that. You
Yep.
have you have silently agreed with them that this is what I'm worth, when you know
Yeah.
in your heart of heart that this is not.
Exactly. And
It's
that's when,
your
and
choice.
I wish a lot of us would just get up, start taking the steps, ask God to show you which way to go, and get to
Yes,
moving. Go where you want it. And that's in anything. If that's even in
celebrate it.
relationship, go, yes, even where you celebrate, go where you are wanted, because
Yes,
it's a lot of doors that you're going to try to go through. And my thing is, I've learned that if that door is not opening for me,
leave it
it's
alone.
time for me to keep on walking down the road until the door that God has for me open. And I've always done that. And I don't have no regrets. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. And a lot of people get upset. They
Mm-mm.
sit here and they sit in a place where they're uncomfortable and they don't like it. And then they wonder, well, why is so and so? Why is she able to do? It does not matter about so and so. What
Fix
matters
your
is what
vision.
you're going to do. Stay focused, that tunnel vision on you and
Yes,
what you got to do. Our Lord also said, walk in silence.
yes,
Yes, walking in silence. And I'm a queen on that. I'll walk in silence in a heartbeat. And
yes,
it's made people mad. I don't care, because I got to feed me. I got to do for me. I got to have what I want for me to speak for me.
yes,
Just like you got to have everything that speaks for
yes,
Emily.
yes.
It doesn't even matter. When
Mm-mm.
you go out on your faith and you walk on silence and God is telling you to move a certain way,
Move.
guarantee nobody understands.
And
Nobody
it's
will
sweatless victory. You
yeah,
will have sweatless victories. It will be without any type of static, because he's gonna give you favor. Favor ain't fair, but it gets you through doors that money can't.
yep, it
And you
sure
have to love
can.
yourself enough to know that there's a door for me with my name on it, and I don't have to settle.
Exactly. Because when you're out here and that attention that you're gravitating toward, that you're wanting, that's going to help blow you up, Go with the force of God with you, and you will get there. You will get there faster than you will ever know. You know, blessings don't come um
When
when you
people just
want
sitting
it.
there sitting idle.
Yeah, it don't come like that.
In
You
the
got,
Bible, God was blessing people who were moving.
yeah, you, that's that work. You know, that's when they said faith without work is dead. You
Yes.
got to put in the work. You know, I
Yes,
ain't talking
you do.
about put in a little work and think that it's gonna do something. It ain't
Mm-mm.
gonna do nothing. You
No.
got to put in the work, the blood, sweat, and tears. It
Yes.
gonna be times you ain't gonna want to get up. You ain't gonna want to
That's
do
right.
a video. You ain't gonna want to get out there and market it. You ain't gonna want to get out there and make your reputation to be bigger than life. You ain't gonna want. But guess what? You shake that off and you get in there and you do it. You
Keep
don't
the
have a
faith.
I'm so happy you ladies said that. This was so beautiful. I'm sorry my camera is giving me problems.
It's
But this
okay.
was so beautiful. Let me tell you something. Like for me, I always say I know when God is speaking because he'll give a word and then he'll send confirmation, right? So
That's
you
Right.
it.
ladies were confirmation tonight. For me and a couple of my friends that I was speaking with, the first thing I'm gonna jump into is salaries, right? One of my
Mhm.
friends just accepted a role at this organization, and she's just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I should ask for more money or not. And it was just the uncertainty about understanding your worth and
Mm-hmm.
putting it out there. Like, we going to negotiate
Yes.
Mhm.
because I know what I'm bringing to the table. And of course, the company is going to try to save as much as they can save. But I
Mhm.
think so many times because of fear, we fall back on having those conversations about our worth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know what? And the company is only going to pay you what they decide. You got to
Yes.
go in and negotiate. I
Yes.
did that with the next
Exactly.
job I got. I did that going in. No. And then when they wanted to, when they put me in permanently, and they was like, but we paid you. I said, I ain't signing the papers. You're going to have to do a little bit better. Well, what you want? I gave it to them and we met in the middle. I was happy because
Hmm.
I knew that if I went high, I was going to get what I wanted anyway. And you
Hmm.
have to be that, you have to be calculating in that way. You can't have
Hmm.
no fear. These people need you just as much as you need them. Because you gotta
Hmm.
keep a roof and stuff over your head, so you gotta get paid. So guess
Yes.
Hmm.
what? They gotta do the same thing. They gotta keep their business thriving. And if you don't help, they will find somebody else. But if you're the one
Absolutely.
who they want, they will pay you your worth because they see
Hmm.
what you do. And
Yeah.
you have to, and even if you out here as a business person, people see your worth and they'll come. But you got to do the work. You got to know your worth. Don't sit up here and let somebody tell you why are you charging. You got this lipstick, best lipstick ever. You know it's the best. Your friends who you let try to know it's the best, and then you get out there and you doing like pop-ups and stuff, and you tell them it's $15, and you got them several people that'll come in and say, "Well, why are you charging $15? I'll give you five for it." Never,
Hmm.
never accept a low bid on something you don't put your blood, sweat, and tears in. But guess
Hmm.
what? Because they done tarnish your reputation and they're gonna be like, well, yeah, it's some good lipstick, but I got it for $5. You know,
Wow.
you see what I'm saying? No, if it's 15, if it's
It's
25, I
15.
don't care what product it is. I'm gonna put Petronella out there. Like I think Petronella should be selling her pain cream and her Helen for at least 50 or $60 because it's just that good.
And it
You know,
works.
she has to get on her marketing in order for people to know it's just that gum good. You know,
Yes.
I know people who live by that. They use
Yes.
the
It
pain
works.
bounce back because it works.
Yes.
She has the reviews to prove it.
And
But
she's
if she don't
established.
stand behind her brand and she lets somebody know she ain't never did that, so don't you go to saying I said she did. I'm just using her as an example. I know she don't mind me using her example. I'm just using her example. She is not gonna let you low bid what her prices is now because she know her worth. For me, I think she should jack them up some more. She
Okay.
has a beautiful packaging. Her branding is on point.
Yep.
There's nothing else to say on that but get up and buy. You get what I'm
Yep.
saying? That's the best example that I'm saying.
I
If
agree.
Emily was to tell me she was selling her book for $5, I'd probably scream at her. No, we're not doing that.
You
That
know,
book
when
is
they were
worth
telling me $20,
$25.
I was like, ooh, you sure?
Mm-hmm.
But people are buying them, and I'm getting testimonies that your book speaks volume. I've experienced this. This is life changing. This is motivating. This is inspiring. This is this is allowing me to have a different mindset and a different window to look through at my situation, that I'm not the only person.
Exactly.
This is bringing me to a point where I can get self-healing, and I can understand that I'm not a victim, I'm victorious, and I'm on the other side. Therefore, I have a testimony, and I can help somebody else.
Exactly.
But
And
you know,
it
you have
works
to
that
you have
way.
to get your own way.
Mhm.
You gotta step over fear and say, you're not gonna hold me bound anymore. I know who I am. I got
Exactly.
purpose, I got destiny, and this is God ordained. So it can't be stopped.
It can't be stopped. No,
Can't
we
be stopped.
can't. So this is, I just look, we are 8 minutes over, but that's okay. It's all good. We always do that. Y'all can catch the restream on Facebook and on YouTube. So
Yay.
go out there, like, share on both platforms. Next week, we're going to talk about law number 1 and law number 2. So go look at the 48 laws of power. We're going to talk about those two, and we're gonna see what we come up with everybody understanding of these two laws as well. So don't forget law 1 and law 2. I want to tell the platform who was able to get on and those who weren't because of technical difficulties. Thank you for coming on. Like I always said, comment, like, and share. Send this out, let everybody know, and your mama too. So we'll be back on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And always remember to love yourself enough to leave the table when respect is no longer being served. I bid you all good night.